and welcome. This is Baller Scooper with part 0 of Let's Play The Legend of Grimrock 2. This game won the vote quite easily, I would say, last time, so we are going to get into it. But we have a ton of options to go over before we get into it, and I would like your guys' opinions on it, especially when it comes to the character creation. So, let's take a look at the options that we have. We are not going to be doing a custom dungeon. I'm not going to be putting mods onto this. We're just going to head in as is. I'm also going to be doing this on normal difficulty because I do want a bit of a challenge, but the game can get difficult very quickly, especially when I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be going into this one blind. That's going to be different from how I did the original Legend of Grimrock, where I had played it. This time, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. Hopefully, I will be able to get the majority of the secrets, and then I might do a couple bonus videos on getting the rest of the secrets that I had to look up. But we are going to be doing this blind, so normal difficulty seems the way to go. The create characters, that's where we're going to spend a majority of the time. If you just want me to go in with standard characters, feel free to let me know. But we are going to take a look at the character creation options if you guys have an inclination for me to use a specific character. If you have one in mind, that would be great. The other modes are not something that I'm going to do. Old school mode, we saw this before. Basically, they do not fill in a map. I have to do that on my own. That's great if you're into that kind of thing and you're playing by yourself, but for a Let's Play format, I really don't think that's the way for me to go. So we will have the map auto-created for me. I am not doing old school mode. Then there's also Iron Man mode. I believe this is new. The game can be saved only at healing crystals. Yeah, this does make the game significantly harder. I am not going to be doing this because, once again, I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like Iron Man mode is kind of a challenge for yourself on the second, third, fourth time through the game. I don't feel it's good for your first time through the game if you don't know what you're doing, so no Iron Man mode. Same thing here with single-use crystals. Healing crystals can only be used once. This makes the game really difficult, I would say. So we're gonna stick away and not do that one. That one does not sound, well, fun. It sounds like torture to me at some points. At least in the last game it would have been. So I assume the same thing this time. So we're gonna head in and see what the character creation options are. As you can see, as you might have anticipated, there are a ton of character creation options. So let's start with the basics. We'll start with name. I would like names. I can have the game just kind of auto-create things for me. Was that Fiarfin or Finarfin? That's straight out of Lord of the Rings. All right, so we could just have the game create a name for me, but if you guys have a name, that would be great. We also have the options of races. There are a lot of races in this game, so let's go over them. We start with the humans. As a human, you belong to the most populous sentient race in the known world. You are very adaptable and can excel in all professions. You gain experience points 10% faster. So, as a human, you kind of can go any route. There's not necessarily a downside to being a human, but there's not that much of a good side to being human other than the experience points. The other ones are much more of a specific class in mind when you pick the race, but humans are kind of your all-around characters here. Then we have insectoids. As an insectoid, your thoughts are completely alien to other races. Your knowledge of the arcane is unrivaled. Insectoids come in many shapes and sizes, but most often their bodies are covered with a thick shell. It gives me a little bit more strength, +1, but primarily they want willpower. So willpower is +2. That means more of a mage character. No dexterity, -2 dexterity there, and no vitality, -1 vitality. So I'm assuming that when you pick an insectoid, you kind of want to go a mage route, but there are options. Your chance of getting body parts injured is reduced by 50%. That's also a thing, so we have options. Lizard Man. As a lizard man, you are a social outcast and are mistrusted by other races because of your capricious and deceitful nature. What you lack in social skills, you greatly make up for in stealth and dexterity. So, Dexterity +2, willpower -2. They're kind of leaning towards a rogue thief type character with the lizard man, not necessarily a mage. But they do have resist all +25%, so maybe a tank style character wouldn't be out of the question for a lizard man. Then we have a Minotaur. This is your default tank race. As a Minotaur, you are bulky, simple, and quick to anger. Your incredible stubbornness is tolerated by others only because of your incredible prowess in combat. Strength +5, vitality +4. This is supposed to be your tank character. Dexterity -4, not so nimble. Willpower -3, not necessarily a mage character. Your food consumption rate is 25% higher than normal, so he also gets hungry pretty quickly. That's kind of a downside for me. Then we have a new race, I believe, to the series. We have Ratlings. As a Ratling, you may seem weak and disease-ridden on the surface, but you are actually one of the most adaptable and hardy creatures in the world. You are a hoarder by nature and greatly enjoy fiddling with mechanical contraptions. Strength -4, not necessarily a good physical attacker, but dexterity +2, so there are some options. Evasion +2 as well, max load +15 kilograms, and you are immune to diseases. So there's a lot of plus side to being a Ratling, it's just that attacking is not necessarily one of them. So those are the races. Let's take a look at the portraits for each of them. So we'll stick with human for the time being. Here are the human portraits. I believe that there are the most portraits for humans. There is also the option of importing in a custom portrait, but I don't have any of those. So if you want a custom portrait, you will have to ask me to bring that in. Otherwise, we're going to use one of these here. So more options. What do you want your character to look like? Lots of female ones around here, I must say. I assume that's a guy. It's sometimes hard to tell with these. Not necessarily just with humans either. When we get into the other races, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Like insectoids. I have no idea what a male or female insectoid is supposed to look like. But here are the portraits that are available to us for an insectoid. There are a few of them, so if you have one in mind, feel free to let me know. Lizard men! Yeah, not as many for the lizard men. You might have to be really specific. Some of these look like actual lizards in real life, but I am not too familiar with different kinds of lizards. So if you have a preference when it comes to the portraits, feel free to let me know. Minotaur? Well, there's different kinds of cows here. That's the thing. If any of them, once again, are female, I can't really tell. And then finally, we have the Ratlings. See, here I can actually tell that there's, at least this one, I would say, is a female rat. But the rest could go either way, especially this one, I guess. That guy's clearly male. But those are the Ratling portraits as well. So then we have classes. There are a ton of classes. As you can see, there's different bonuses. I should go over those as well for the races. Critical 5% on a human, damage is 1-to-1, nothing major going on here. We'll take a look at the insectoids. They get a little bit of resist fire, a little bit of resist cold, a little bit increased damage, low accuracy though. Low accuracy. And they can actually hold a little bit more, the insectoids, 3 kilograms more. The lizard men, they have a ton of resistances, as you can see. So they get fire, shock, poison, cold, and we've already gone over the attributes. They get a little bit of evasion, a little bit of accuracy, and their max load is the same as a human. When it comes to the Minotaur, it's a little different. They do resist fire a bit, resist poison as well. Their damage is already high, their accuracy is really low, and they can hold a ton, 60 kilograms. We'll go over traits later because that's going to be affected by the class, I assume. Then we have the Ratling. They resist shock a little bit. Their evasion's pretty high, accuracy's pretty high. They can hold a little bit more than other races, but not by much, not compared to the Minotaur. All right, now it's time to go over classes. So all the classes are available to all of the races as far as I could tell. Alchemist, Barbarian, Battle Mage, Farmer, Fighter, Knight, Rogue, Wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different classes. And I don't think it matters which one I go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As far as I could tell, it was the same all the way through. So let's just stick it on a human for now, and we'll look at all the different classes. So we have an alchemist. As an alchemist, you brew potions and defend yourself in combat by wielding firearms. Health starts at 50, energy starts at 50. The health is going to gain faster than the energy, plus 6 per level as opposed to plus 4 per level for the energy. Herbs in your inventory multiply. The growth rate is determined by the number of steps taken, so he's got like soil in his outfit somewhere or something. Firearms have 50% less chance to malfunction, so firearms will malfunction every once in a while, but the alchemist will make that happen less. Kind of an interesting character built around item usage and gun usage. Then we have a barbarian. This is going to be a little more basic, I assume. As a barbarian, you do not care about finesse in combat. Instead, you rely on raw power and speed. Health of 80 to start. I believe that's amongst the highest. And we get plus 10 health per level. Energy of 30. That only increases by 3 per level. But you do get strength plus 1 per level as well. We have the Battle Mage. As a Battle Mage, you are comfortable with fighting in the front row as well as blasting with spells from the back row. So this is kind of your all-around character. Is it good, though? Start with a health of 50, energy of 50, and both of them increase by 5 per level. The weight of equipped armor is reduced by 50%. You can cast spells with bare hands. You gain protection plus 10 and resist all plus 10 when equipped with a magical staff or an orb. That actually does sound pretty nice. We don't get to see the skills that we get as we continue to grow these characters, but the Battle Mage does sound good at least to start. We have the Farmer. I assume he's not too good. As a farmer, you do not command great powers and do not know how to wield a sword. Instead, you are familiar with digging ditches for irrigation and the growth cycles of pit root plants. Basically, everything a successful adventurer would never need. You have a health of 30 and an energy of 30, but they each gain 5 per level. This does not sound good. You receive no skill points at first level. Instead of slaying monsters, you gain experience points by eating food. Alright, this is kind of a unique character. It does not sound good to me. Maybe if I get it up to max level, it'll be good. Maybe it's like the Onion Knight in Final Fantasy III. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's just terrible from beginning to end. Maybe he's only designed for challenge runs. Then we have the Fighter. As a fighter, you are a master of close combat. You are trained to use a wide variety of weapons. Starting health of 60, starting energy of 30. As you might anticipate, we're focusing on health, so plus 7 per level there. Energy only gets 3 per level. Special attacks with melee weapons take half the time to build up and cost 25% less energy. So, kind of your basic fighter. It does look like he can dual wield. I'm not sure if that starts that way or if that's something I gotta get later. But a little bit different flavor than the Barbarian in terms of a kind of basic fighter class. Interesting. Then we have a Knight. As a Knight, you believe that good preparation is the key to triumph in combat. You are specialized in wielding armor and using the shield, so this is more of a defensive character. Health of 60, gains 7 per level. Energy of 30, plus 3 per level. Protection, plus 1 per level. Weight of equipped armor is reduced by 50%. Evasion bonus of equipped shields is increased by 50% as well. So, he can hold heavy armor, he will evade because of shields. This is a defensive character in mind, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do too much damage with him, but he's definitely going to be a tank for us. Then we have the Rogue, your basic thief-style class, I assume. As a rogue, you are a stealthy warrior who prefers to use ranged weapons or light melee weapons. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to put a rogue in the back row if I get one. But health of 45 plus 5 per level, energy of 40 plus 5 per level. When dual wielding, you suffer only 25% penalty to weapon damage. It's normally 40%. Maybe I could put him in the first row. Nah, it's probably better if I stick him in the back. Plus 1% chance per level to score a critical hit with missile or throwing weapons. Yeah, probably better to put a rogue in the back. And finally, we have a wizard, our second casting class. There's not too many. There's only battle mage and wizard, I guess. The alchemist is not really a caster, right? So, wizard. As a wizard, you use enchanted staves and orbs to command great mystical powers that can be used to cause harm or to protect. Health of 35, so in the back you go. +3 per level. Energy of 50 +7 per level. Willpower +2. You can cast spells with bare hands. So this is kind of your all-out casting class as opposed to a battle mage, which can do both. So those are the classes. We do get the options of changing our attributes as you might have anticipated. There's strength, dexterity, vitality, and willpower. Strength is how much damage you do, how much you can carry, your fire resistance, and that's it. I already went over damage. Dexterity increases your accuracy, evasion, shock resistance, and damage you deal with many missile weapons. So if you want a missile weapon, it is the dexterity. But throwing is strength, which is kind of interesting. Then we have vitality. That's your health points and health regeneration rate. Also increases your poison resistance. And finally, willpower. It increases the amount of energy points, your energy regeneration rate, and also increases your cold resistance. So the stuff right here just goes right across the board. Then we have traits. Traits are almost guaranteed to be interesting no matter what. So they do show all of them. It is based on race as far as I can tell, but of course it will be majorly affecting your class, so you want to keep that in mind. You want to build a character with all of these things in mind. This is going to be a long part 0. So we have aggressive. You're full of rage, damage +4. Then we have agile. Your reflexes are exceptional, dexterity +2. Aura, you have potent aura, or energy +20. We have chitin armor. This only applies to insectoids. Your body is covered by a thick chitin shell. You gain protection +10. Cold blood, you are naturally resistant to cold. Resist cold +25. Demon ancestor, or daemon ancestor. Your great-grandfather had fiery eyes. Resist fire +25. We have endurance. Max carrying capacity is increased by 25 kilograms and food consumption rate is decreased by 25%. Knowing the way that I play, that could be quite useful for me. Endure elements. This is only for lizardmen. Years spent living in the wilderness have made you resistant to the forces of nature. Resist all +25%. So, didn't they already have one that was like that? Lizardmen, didn't they already have? Yeah. They already had resist all, so that could increase it to +50 right off the bat. That could be really nice for a lizardman. Then we have evasive. You know how to best stay away from harm. Evasion +5. Fast learner. This is only for humans. You gain experience points 10% faster, so double the natural bonus. This bonus is in addition to the experience bonus granted by your race, like I just said. But they wanted to clarify, just in case. Then we have fast metabolism. This is only for lizardmen. Your health and energy regenerate 30% faster while your food consumption rate increases by 20%. Additionally, healing potions are twice as effective for you. So, better regeneration, but I do have to feed him more often, and healing items do double. So, it is a good trade-off at the end of the day, but I can only have so many people that need a lot of food, you know? Minotaur Headhunter is back. Strength +1 for each skull carried. It's creepy, but it's effective. Then we have Healthy. You are exceptionally healthy. Vitality +2. Martial Training. You are trained to use a wide variety of melee weapons. Melee attacks gain accuracy +7. That could be useful for certain situations. Muscular. Your body is muscular. Strength +2. Mutation. This is only for ratlings. One of your attribute scores chosen randomly increases by 1 when you gain a level, because you're mutating as you go along, I guess. Natural armor. Your skin is very thick and armor-like. Protection +5. Poison immunity. You're immune to poison. This is only for lizardmen. Then we have poison resistant. This is for everybody. You are naturally resistant to poisons. Resist poison +25. We have quick. This is only for insectoids. The cooldown period for all actions you perform is decreased by 10%. Then we have Rage. This is only for a Minotaur. Your strength is temporarily increased by 10 when you have less than 20% health remaining. Not sure I like that one. I mean, it is useful, but anytime I have to be in critical condition for something to activate, I'm hesitant for it. We have Skilled. This is only for humans. You gain 1 extra skill point at first level. It may only be used to raise a skill from level 0 to level 1, so an extra skill point when we start. We have Strong Mind. Your mind is as sharp as a needle. Willpower +2. And then Tough. You are resistant to physical punishment. Health +20. So those are the traits. I believe that everybody does just get the option of 2. Just 2 traits for everybody. Let's go back to humans, our base character, really. So that we can go over skills. This is the last one. I told you this is going to be a long part 0, but I'm sure you already knew that when you clicked on it. So, Alchemy. These are the skills. I'll try to level these up. As you can see, when you get up to the higher level, you can start getting some good stuff. I assume those are actual skills that I can learn over time. So, like they actually do something for me. We'll start with Alchemy. A higher skill in Alchemy allows you to brew a wider range of potions. To craft potions, you also need herbs and a mortar and pestle. At 4th skill level, you brew stronger healing and energy potions. At 5th skill level, when you craft bombs, you get 3 bombs instead of 1. The Alchemist starting to look a lot better than it did before. Alright, then we have Athletics. Increases your health by 20 for each skill point. At 3rd skill level, your carrying capacity is increased by 15 kilograms. So that's what all of these are. Concentration increases your energy by 20 for each skill point. At 3rd level, your energy regeneration rate is increased by 25% while resting. We have Light Weapons. Increases damage of light weapons by 20% for each skill point. At 3rd skill level, you can dual wield light weapons as long as one of them is a dagger. At 5th skill level, you can dual wield any light weapons. When dual wielding, you suffer a 40% penalty to weapon damage. Unless we were the... Ratling, was it? Lizard Men? Which one was it? There was somebody that had something different. Maybe it was one of the classes, and I'm just forgetting it. Oh, it's the Rogue. Unless you're a Rogue, then it's less for the light weapons. So Rogue, light weapons, makes sense. Heavy Weapons. Increases damage of heavy weapons by 20% for each skill point. At 5th skill level, you can wield 2-handed weapons in one hand. That could be quite useful. Missile Weapons. Increases damage of missile weapons by 20% for each skill point. At 4th skill level, your missile weapon attacks ignore 20 points of an enemy's armor. That could be quite useful. Then we have Throwing. Increases damage of throwing weapons by 20% for each skill point. At 5th skill level, you can throw weapons from both hands with 1 action. That also could be quite useful, but this is kind of endgame stuff, I assume they're telling me now. Firearms. Increases range of firearm attacks by 1 square for each skill point. Right, we're still on a grid system in this game. Also decreases the chance of a firearm malfunctioning. At 5th skill level, you achieve firearm mastery and do not suffer from firearm malfunctions anymore. Could be good. Accuracy. Increases your accuracy by 10 for each skill point. At 2nd skill level, you can perform melee attacks from the back row. Interesting. Have a melee attacker from the back row. That could be useful for a battle mage and a couple other things that I'm thinking of, but that's an interesting thing to add into the game. Then we have Critical. Improves your chance of scoring a critical hit with melee, ranged, throwing, or firearm attacks by 3% for each skill point. At 3rd level, you can backstab an enemy with a dagger and deal triple damage. At 5th level, you can backstab with any light weapon. So this is more of a rogue thing, I would assume, but it could be useful for everybody. Armor. Increases protection of armor pieces equipped by 5% for each skill point. At 2nd skill level, you are proficient with light armor and can wear it without penalties. Similarly, at 4th skill level, you can wear heavy armor without penalties. We have Dodge. Increases evasion by 3 for each skill point. At 3rd skill level, the cooldown period for all of your actions is decreased by 10%. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I assume I'll want to focus on like 2 skills for any one character. That's just my assumption going in. I believe it was something like that last time where I could max out 2 and then have a third one that didn't quite make it. Fire magic increases damage of fire spells by 20% for each skill point. At 5th skill level, you gain resist fire plus 50. I assume that all the magics are similar. Yeah, air magic, resist shock plus 50. Yeah, earth magic is resist poison plus 50, and water magic is resist cold plus 50. So, those are the skills. This has been a long video, I understand. But keep in mind that humans will get 3 skills if you want to start naming skills. Insectoids and lizardmen and minotaurs and ratlings will only get 2. There's attributes, resistances. Well, resistances are going to be part of an attribute. So I can name characters, I can give them races, classes, attributes, traits, skills, and portraits. There's lots of things to go over. So if you guys have ideas for characters, I'm open to suggestions. I need 4 of them total. I am going to go with a balanced party. At least that's the goal. There's no point in me going in with 4 Minotaur barbarians. It's not going to work out. I'm not going to have them properly equipped. You know how this game works. Somewhat. But that is going to do it for this exceptionally long part 0 of Let's Play The Legend of Grimrock 2. Hope you guys have enjoyed this informative part, and I hope you guys do look forward to the up and coming Let's Play. I've been Baller Scuba. Thanks for watching.